And we are live on Facebook. As I just said to you, Jack, I'm so excited to finally get to speak to you because I've seen you at so many BCMMAs or Cage Warriors Academy cards and never got the chance before now. So it's really nice to be able to catch up with you.
My pleasure, and the feeling's mutual.
And we were also saying how it's good for you to have the time because usually you're working and training and very hard to squeeze these things in.
Yeah, 100%. As probably most fighters know, it is hard when you're say, even if it's just working 3 days a week and then training full time in a camp, trying to like have the time to do things like this and stuff is definitely hard to squeeze it in between training and teaching and whatever else you're doing. So yes, it's good.
And you got off to a flying start in your pro career, 1-0 as a pro at Cage Warriors Academy Southeast. March 7th, it was the last event that I went to. Talk to me about that, because he was from Italy as well. So the whole week I was panicking whether or not the opponent for the co-main and for the main were coming from Italy. And I was wondering whether they'd be able to get here.
Yeah, I had that whole like week and a half before the fight, all I was getting off like a lot of family and friends and stuff was, is the fight definitely going to happen? Because obviously
it's really helpful, isn't it?
I was like, I just kept in the end I was just going to people like, shut up, it's happening, like it's gonna happen, just stop going on about it. Just like it might, like, because especially for me before a fight, I don't like to think about things like that. I just like to keep my like mind on the task at hand and just mentally preparing myself that whole like 2 weeks before a fight just to get in there and do the business. So I don't like to hear things like that. So like in the end, like to start, I was like, oh yeah, like no, it's gonna happen. But then by the end of it, I was getting it so much, I was like, no, it's happening. Like stop talking about it. Like I'm sick of hearing of it now. So, but yeah, it was good to just like get in there and do it. So.
Were you stressed out about it potentially not being on?
Nah, it didn't come in. It never once came into my mind that he wasn't going to be there. For me, he was turning up. He was coming ready. He was going to be there to fight, and that's all I was thinking in my head. To be fair though, for me, it didn't matter who was going to be there on the night. I was going to win, and I was going to go in and do my best and perform to like how I know I can. So to be honest, it didn't matter who was in front of me. I was gonna do it. So.
And you've fought on this show loads of times
before.
I
had my fight on there. So, and what, I had 14 amateur fights now, 14 or 15 amateur fights, and then 1 pro now. So yeah, I've had a lot of fights on there, definitely.
So you know that Jack never finds easy opponents for people. He gets people from all over Europe. You knew that guy was turning up to fight. He's got more pro experience than you. Yeah. You said you'd beat anyone that they put in front of you, but you must have known it was going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, well, the thing was, I didn't even get matched with him until like 6 weeks out, I think it was. So I was already in America training, but I didn't have an opponent. So I was just like, I had the date, so I was like, right, I know I'm fighting on this date, so I need to be ready. But it was more of just like, what sort of style is it going to be? So I was just going over everything, to be honest, like I normally would anyway. And then I finally got him, and it was like, yes. And then I researched him up, seen he was 2-1 as a pro, two back-to-back wins. I think both were finishes, 2 ground and pound and like a fighting knee. So I was like, oh, like here we go. I think and then I watched the fights. I was like, oh, he's a striker. So for me, I was like, yes. Hopefully he's going to try and stand, which was nice. So it was good to get rounds in with all the guys over at the lab as well, who were pushing me every day to like the extremes. I mean the extreme. But yeah, it was good. It was good.
You were training with somebody that I interviewed fairly recently, Sugar Sean O'Malley. I saw you training with him out there. Yeah. What's he like? Because he's got a crazy style in the octagon.
He's I look Sean. Everyone at the lab's so nice. And then training with guys like Sean, Kyler Phillips, Mario Batista, Casey Kenny. Marcus, Richie Palencia, like loads of different guys I had in the camp, and it was just insane training with them. Like, there's no way when you're training with guys like that you can't get better. And it can only give you confidence too, especially with where they're at and where I'm at in my career.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm sparring with guys that holding my own and doing well, it's just like it shows where my level's at, and I know where I can compete at. So it's only giving me the confidence to be like, I know, like right now, deep down inside, like skill wise, I could go and fight the top anyone in the UK right now. I can hold my own with. I know for a fact. Like when I'm like firing, like how I know I can, and performing the way I do in the gym, and I put it into the cage, I'll smoke anyone. I know I can. So
yeah, and iron sharpens iron, right?
That's it. Like, don't get me wrong. I take my licks. Like, I get my ass kicked as well. But like it's like, for me, it's all like it's a mental thing. Like if you're going in there going in the gym and always going with the best guys and pushing yourself. So like every training session, I was trying to go with the best people. I wasn't like, oh, I'm tired, I'm just gonna have an easier session and go with someone who I know I can get an easier session with. I was going with people who were gonna push me to the limits of like where I'm almost just like, oh, like stop, just stop a sec, I need a break. But it's good because it just only makes you mentally tougher. And you know, when you get into a fight, if you got to dig deep in that third and final round where you're 2 rounds down, you've got to finish it and you got to go. You know, you've got that in your head and in your body. You know, you can do that. So that's why I love training with guys like that, because it's just amazing. So.
And I know when you're here, you sometimes train with Nad Narimani, don't you?
Oh yeah,
I've seen some photos with him.
Yeah. I always
another UFC fighter.
Yeah, he's insane. Like his just all over the board, but his grappling, oh my god, it's like you grab hold of him and try and do anything to him, it hurts you because he's just like solid. He's like a rock. Honestly, you like just getting an underhook on him and him moving, just like, oh my god, what the hell? But it's so good. Like guys like that, guys like all the other people I train with, pushing me to the limits, and they're at the pinnacle. Guys like that are like, if you compare it to football, they're in the Premier League. They're playing for like Liverpool. So when you're going with guys like that, like we've said, you're only going to get better. You're only going to get physically and mentally tougher. So I love it.
Something else that I think must have required a lot of mental strength and physical toughness was the 8-man tournament that you won at K-Droy's Southeast when you were a flyweight amateur. 3 fights in one night. That's incredible. Like, talk to me about not just the fights themselves, but trying not to get too excited after a win, trying to kind of keep your adrenaline on a level for the whole night. Just tell me about the whole thing.
That was like for me, like physically, that was like hard, but it was more like physically, like I was ready. Like I could, like physically, you're preparing physically for it, for what I think my training camp must have been 12. So I did a 12-week training camp for that. So physically I knew I could do, but it's more of the mental side of it. Like, you're not going in the gym and having 3 fights in one day. There's no like preparing for that. So it's sort of like when you get in there and you are doing it, it's sink or swim. And I was only going to swim. So like, cause the thing, like, it was hard. I was so tired at the end of the night. It was a joke. Like, I'd done an interview. I didn't even want to do it. I was so tired. And like, it was just like, oh my God. And I had like the hardest weight cut I've ever had in my life to make that. Like that, when I did that, that was when I knew I was going up. And I knew I could never make my weight again. Because that was the hardest cut I've ever had to do in my life. I lost from the Friday before the weigh-in. I lost 8 kilos from then. And it honestly, I was like, oh my God. I made the weight and I was like, got that out of the way, and then it was just preparing for the fights, and it was just like, then it was hard. It was hard, definitely.
I didn't even consider the weight cut in with that. Obviously you moved up to bantamweight. I saw somebody ask you on Facebook if you would be moving to featherweight at some point, and
I think I will.
That you would.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm more like right now. I weighed myself this morning. I'm walking around at 76 kilos. I fight at 61. I'm only 20 years old. I'm only going to get bigger. And it's not like I'm 76 kilos in fat. I'm 76 kilos and I've still got a bit of I've still got abs and stuff. So it's only going to get tougher. I've got the best nutritionist as well, Dean Kirk Nutrition.
He's a friend of mine.
Yeah, he is like he blows my mind how easily I make like at the minute, like I wouldn't have to go up. I make bantamweight easy. I'm saying easy. It's never an easy cut, but like it's a lot easier than cuts I've had before. So like I know I can still make bantamweight now, but I know in the future when I'm say 25, 24, I will be probably at featherweight.
Yeah, it's not like you've got Sugar Sean's build. You know, I've got a lot of muscle.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm a bit shorter and stockier than Sean. He is so long though, it's a joke. So
he is. So when you're here, you train at Dragon's Lair, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about training there.
I love it. It's like it's definitely a smaller gym in the UK gyms. Like it's not like a bigger gym. But it's like it's for me, it's like home. Since this, especially with this isolation and stuff, I've been going there religiously 3 days. Like from the age of 9, I was going there 3 days a week, and now I go there literally 6 days a week, religiously, sometimes twice a day.
Yeah,
it feels weird. It's like it feels like I've almost lost like a left leg, like not being able to go there because like they're like I don't see them as teammates or anything like that. They are family. Like my coach Stu is like my second dad. I literally call him dad sometimes. So it's like he's like the gym there is just full of killers like on the come up. Like no one really knows about them, but we're more amateurs. You got Ken Kalpenham who fights on Bellator. He's doing big things. You got the two Polish twins, and then we've got some other guys who are coming up. So it's good. We're gonna definitely bring some more fighters out in the future.
So how are you staying in touch with these guys during isolation?
I FaceTime my coach pretty much every other day. FaceTime my other coaches pretty much every other day, or ring them on the phone. The other lads, I'll just drop a message on Instagram or Facebook and stuff. Make sure they're all good and their families and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. And how are you keeping up the training?
Well, so at the minute, I'm not really training. I've pulled my quad.
Oh no!
Yeah, a couple of days ago, I pulled my quad. Not bad. It's not like one of those ones where I'm like, shit, I need rehab. Like I need operation. But it's just more of just I need to rest it. For like 3 weeks, just rest it, stay off it. But it's happened at the best time. That's the way I'm looking at it. Like I've not got a fight. I can really just concentrate on making it like better. So just doing that. But I was training 2 to 3 times a day. I was doing like a run. I was doing my sprints. I was riding my bike. I've set up like a little gym in my back garden, and I've got some like weights and stuff. So I was still keeping up like training. Like I was fit. I could have fought. It was more of just like not having a full camp of sparring and everything.
Sparring.
So yeah, because you need to spar for a fight. The best way to train for a fight is fight. So like I wouldn't have took a fight or anything like straight away, but I would have definitely came out of there ready to go through fights. But it was more of just I wanted a full camp, like with where I'm at in my career. I don't want to take stupid fights or anything like that. So
how long do you think you'll need once gyms reopen? How long do you want in the gym sparring before you'll feel ready to take your next fight?
I'm aiming for September. Or I wouldn't mind August, depending on when we come out of this lockdown, because obviously we still don't really know. But I'm going to aim for September. I definitely think September will be the time I come get another fight coming. So.
And how weird do you think it will be if it's still a closed door event by then?
It would be like it's one to tick off your bucket list almost. I guess you could say, like with where we are now, but it would definitely feel weird because like all you're gonna hear is you and him breathing. His corner team, my corner team, and then you might hear the odd person go, "Ooh," like that's all you're pretty much gonna hear. So it would definitely be cool. I'd love it, to be fair.
And I heard Brad Walton say on an interview the other day that he was really aware that the fighters could hear him commentating while they were fighting, and they would try and kind of not to coach the fighters as well, because Daniel Strauss was the other commentator, and he was talking about the submission attempts and just like trying not to say how to get out of them.
But yeah, I can imagine it was probably weird, to be fair. Like, but when you're fighting, you don't really hear a lot other than, like, for me, all I really hear is I might hear the odd, like, the crowd every now and again. But to be fair, I'm so zoned in. All I really hear is my corner team, his corner team, and like what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like with his breathing or whether he's making a weird noise, I don't know. But yeah. So to me, it wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, just got to get back in there, right?
Yeah, that's it. Get in there and throw down. That's my motto. Just get in there and do your best, and that's what you can do. So.
Yeah. So especially now you can't train for a few days. How are you going to fill them? Are you a gamer?
No, I'm not. I don't even have an Xbox or anything. I don't have games on my phone. To be fair, with the weather, all I've been doing is sitting in the garden. But like I've still, like, I trained this morning. Just like a little upper body, like off my leg. I can't do anything on my leg, but I can't really not train. It's like my OCD. I don't know what it is. I can't not train. If I don't train, I get all aggy. I'm like, honestly, it's bad. So I have to train. So I did a little workout this morning, just upper body stuff. But it's just not the same when, like, there's only so much weight and kettlebell stuff I can do. So not being able to sort of like get up, go out for a run in the morning, because I love running. For me, like running, like that's the one time when I'm in camp, running doesn't feel like a chore. Like sometimes training does get like to the point in camp, like Nick Diaz has said before, if you're not doing it to where you hate it, you'll never love it. That is like, I never understood it until you start really pushing yourself. It's so true. Like you love it, but you hate it at the same time. You know, like, especially when I'm at the lab, like on a Tuesday and a Thursday, the wrestling practices, oh my God, like sometimes I dread it. Like, honestly, beforehand, I'm thinking of ways. I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to go. Like, I know I'm just going to get my ass kicked. Like, oh, like, maybe that. But then you do it and you're like, you see why you do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, wrestling is the most grueling
100%
discipline of anything. It's so horrible when you're doing it, but you know it's, you know, giving you that endurance for a fight.
100%. Especially when you're going with guys who are really good. Like when you go with them high-level guys. And if you get the ones that are spiteful too, it's even worse when they start digging their head in, giving it all like elbows and that. It's like, and you know, especially when you're on the bottom, you can't do anything. You're like, so you're trying to move and that, but I love it. I love it and I hate it at the same time, because you know you need it, but you know it's just going to be the hardest practice you're going to have. Like, I'd rather go and spar 10 rounds than wrestle for 10 rounds. 100%. I'd rather spar with like a top kickboxer and get my ass kicked than wrestle someone who's like on the same level. Oh, not a chance.
It's so tough as well when you finally get back to your feet and then they just take you down again. Just mentally.
The worst ones when you're like, I remember the first couple of times I went to the lab. I remember guys would take me down, literally let me get back up, just to take me back down again, and just hold their hand on my head. It'd be like, it's the most disheartening thing. Like, I had a wrestling practice with Benson Henderson. I've had it once.
Wow.
I swear I don't want to ever do it again. It was the hardest wrestling practice of my life. Honestly, I was so done. But it was like, you see, like when you train with someone like that who's been the best in the world, like you see how hard he works. It only pushes you on. And like what he done to me, I just felt like it felt like I was a day one beginner. Like he would take me down, put his hand on my head and just be like, get up. And he's saying it to you as well. And it's like, oh my God. and you know, some people are looking at the corner eyes. You're like, I can't look like a bitch now. I can't get up. So you get up, he takes you back down. You're like, oh, right, this is just this. And it was like 45 minutes non-stop. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I need a break. I need some water. I think I'm going to be sick. But it was.
Do you ever get starstruck with some of the people that you're on the mats with?
The first time I ever went to the lab, I did. Not now though. Like now, like when I was out in America this time, I stayed at Benson's house.
Wow.
I lived there for the 5 weeks I was there. So like now I see them, I see them as family. Like they're like my brothers and sisters. Coach John over there is like my friggin' uncle. Coach Rob's like my brother. So like over there now, where I've been going there so long, they're like my family as well. So
yeah.
Now I don't really get starstruck. It's more of like I remember I was in the change rooms with Benson after wrestling practice, and I was telling him, I was like, I'm gonna get you one day, Ben. I'm gonna get you. And 10 he's like, oh, I hope you do. But like, so now it's just like more bantering, like brother sisterly love and stuff like that. So it's good.
Yeah, I think anybody becomes normal after a while, but that initial.
That's it. Like I think you put like people forget, like when you go to a UFC event, you're like, oh my god, like I don't know, oh my god, that's Darren Till. But in reality, he's a normal geezer like anyone else. They're all normal people. So I don't really get too starstruck anymore. Like if I see someone, I might be like, oh my god, like wow, like that's cool. But I'm not going to be like, like I'm not going to start sweating or like, oh, like,
I'm still a fangirl.
Yeah, that's just
that's me.
And I'm not I've never been one of those people either to really get photos either. Like I've never really been like, oh, like I really want to get a photo, because I just like, oh, nah, like. So I have to ask one of my coaches. I'll be like, if you ask to get a photo, I'll get one. But otherwise, I won't ask. Otherwise, I won't ask. I'm like, nah.
Right, let me check the Facebook comments. So Danny's asked, if you could do a sparring session with anyone, past and present, who would you choose?
If I could box one person, so if I was just boxing,
yeah.
I'd love to box either Vasily Lomachenko or Terence Crawford. I think that would be an amazing experience. MMA, oh, that's a tough one. If I was the same size as him, GSP.
Yeah, I think I would pick GSP.
But for someone my weight, who would I want to spar? My size. I'd like to spar Conor McGregor when he was a 145er.
Yeah,
I'd like to spar him.
Cool. What's your go-to treat, if any? He said during a weight cut, but I'm guessing you don't have any treats on a weight cut. But like,
oh no,
maybe...
I have a cheat day. I get it because I'm good. I'll be good, and then I can have a refeed day. So or it depends what I'm feeling. But like, I'm one of them people when I'm cutting weight, I'll actually watch food videos. I'm weird like that. I watch like food. I don't know if you've ever seen Paul Felder, but I'm the same as that. I like when I'm cutting weight, all I do is watch food. Like it's weird.
Why is that?
I honestly have no idea. When I'm not cutting weight, I don't even care. Like I will never watch food video. When I'm cutting weight, when I know I can't have it, I watch people eat food.
Weird. It must be because your brain's just obsessing over it.
I think that's what it is. I think it stops me from eating. So I can't eat that, but I'll just watch him eat it. And then by the time I've watched the video, I'm like, oh, an hour's gone. There you go. I can eat again now. So, but I would say either a steak, like a big steak with like, I don't know, sweet potato fries and some mac and cheese or something, or sweet, I would probably go cheesecake.
Very nice. What's your favorite UFC fight you've watched?
My favorite UFC fight, I think my go-to is probably Rory McDonald versus Tyron Woodley. It's not like the most exciting fight, but I just look like the way Rory fought that fight is how like a lot of my fights play out is guys are just trying to take me down. So the way like he fought in that fight is how I like. So probably that fight or Israel Adesanya versus Calvin Gastelum.
Yeah, that was an epic fight.
Hell of a fight.
I always say my favourite's Frankie Edgar and Gray Maynard. It was just...
That's a scrap. That is a scrap.
Yeah.
Which one? 1, 2, or 3?
I think, well, I mean, they were all amazing and they were all crazy for different reasons. But that's my favourite trilogy and individual fight. Just the one where he knocked himself out as well is just...
Oh, no, nuts.
Craziness. Danny wants to know where I got my MMA cup from because he's just jealous. You've got to know the right people, Danny. Oh, Paul Stafford said, are you working on that for November?
No, I need a shave, but I've been lazy. I'm not going out, so I just don't like have the reason to like really shave or anything, so I'm just being proper lazy about it. I know.
I hadn't noticed till then.
It's all the bum flop. It looks like bum flop on my face. I know.
So tell us how much growth that is. How many days is that?
Oh, that's like 5 days.
Oh, bless you.
After 5 days of shaving, I get bum fluff, but yeah.
Chris Allen, what made you want to do MMA?
What made me want to do MMA? So I started doing MMA when I was like 13. I was like 13 or something like that. And I was like, I wasn't a good kid. Like, I've always been like respectful, but I was never good. Like in school, I was naughty. Got like kicked. I didn't like really go to school. I got kicked out and just other things like that. So like, MMA sort of saved me. It was like either do MMA or go down the wrong path in life. Like I know like a lot of fighters do say it, but like generally a lot of fighters do come from like it was either I was gonna do MMA or I was gonna go down the wrong path doing illegal stuff, and I was never because I to be honest, I've not got the grades really to get any jobs. I haven't got one GCSE. Like I didn't. So for me, I put all my eggs in one basket and was like MMA's me. That without that, I would probably be in prison by now. So.
Wow. So what about post MMA career? Do you think you'll still be working in the sport? Do you see yourself coaching one day? Or?
I've been coaching kids since I was like since I was a kid. So when like I've got little lads that are like 8-9 years old. I've got like I teach the kids class at my gym, and I've got like a bunch of killers. Like sometimes even I'm like, oh, like you're doing that better than I am, and they're like 10 years old. So that's what I want to do. I love teaching. So I want to teach. I teach kids, teach MMA, and sort of bring them up. I'd love to see. I've got like 3 lads at the minute who are like super dedicated, who have been doing it a really long time, and I've got there's more than that to be fair.
How old are they?
Like 8 and 9, 10.
Wow.
Yeah, and one lives literally opposite my house, so like I do pads with him and stuff. And like I'd love to see them one day go into fighting. Like for me, like to see them like grow like that would be amazing. I'd love to see that. So.
Oh my goodness! Just imagine how good they're going to be as well by the time they're at the age that they make their debut.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I think I'd be more nervous for them than like I would be for myself. Like watching them, because I've taught like the lad across the street, little Jack. I've taught him since he was literally like 6, and he's like 9, like coming up. He's like 9 now, and like watching him just, even though it was only been 3 years, like watching him grow and get so much better and stuff, it's just insane. So I'd love to see him and all the other littlings I teach just one day like get in there and smash it. That would be amazing.
Do you ever corner your teammates at the moment?
Yeah, like I've cornered on the same night I was going to fight, like the Polish twins. I've cornered them, gone back, started warming up and stuff. So, but I love cornering. I've cornered on Bellator. That was friggin' amazing. That was cool. So.
And do you feel more nervous when you're cornering than when you're fighting, or does it depend who it is?
I know some people do say that. Yeah. I really don't. I more feel like I just want them to do that. I just want them to come out healthy, safe, and just know that they've done all they can do.
That's what I feel nervous for them for, though, like because they put so much into that. Yeah. Like you know better than anyone how hard they've trained, how badly they want it, and you just want it to go well for them.
Yeah. I'm definitely like nervous for them. I wouldn't say I'm as nervous as what I am for myself, just purely because like I do put a lot of pressure and I do get quite nervous before some fights. But I definitely get nervous. I just want them to do their best. That's all they can do. So I'm just there for them, and that's it really. Like I just mentally, like just I'll do anything that they need so they can be mentally there to go in and do the job. So
yeah, I love that people are being more honest now about feeling nervous before fights.
Like if you're not nervous before a fight, you're either like insane or you really just don't care that much, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like if you've put in, like my last camp, I put in 12 weeks of hard like work. I left my family for 5.5 weeks. I didn't see any of my family. And like at the minute I've got things in my family where I really like family time to me is like a big thing. And going away for 5.5 weeks, not seeing my mum, not seeing my little niece, not seeing my nephews, not seeing my brothers, my sisters and stuff is hard. So when you know you've put in all that sacrifices, you've worked like to the point of like I've been led in bed sometimes when I'm in America. I've been led in my bed at night, literally thinking, oh my God, like my body is in bits. Like I don't even want to eat. I don't have an appetite. I'm like, oh my God, like just sitting there, like what have I done? And when you know you've pushed yourself to these limits, and you wake up next day and do it all over again, getting in there, you're gonna be a bit nervous, like without a doubt, because you know, one, you know to what you can perform at, and two, like there's like for me now, especially as a pro, there's a lot riding on it. Like as an amateur, it didn't matter if you win or lose, to be honest. But as a pro now, it does matter. So that extra bit of pressure there is definitely there. So if people say they're not nervous, they're lying, in my eyes.
One thing I wanted to ask you about before I go back to the comments, I think there's a few more. I wanted to ask you about your last amateur fight with Nick Bagley. I think that is one of the highest level amateur fights like that Jack could have matched. It was incredible. I know that it didn't go your way, but that to me just showed the level we've got to in this country.
Oh, 100%.
Just you guys put on such a show.
Yeah, it was a good fight. Obviously, I'd rather have came out with my hand raised. Like I would love to get that fight back one day, like in the future.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Yeah, do you see a rematch in the future, a pro rematch?
Yeah, I think if Nick and me are the same weight, I definitely do 100%. Because we're both gonna like. I've not got any beef with Nick. Like, there's no like hard feelings, but I want to get that back. Like, I'm a fighter at heart. So one, like if I was to have a street fight with someone and they beat me up, I'm gonna fight them again until I win. Like that's just my mentality. So like the fighter in me wants to get that back. The competitor in me wants to get that back. And the way the fight went, I know I can win. That's the annoying thing. Like I know for a fact with more time in that fight, I would have won. Like that's just how I feel personally. Nick might feel different. But for me, I know if there was another 2 rounds in that fight, I was gonna win. I would have won that 100%. And I know people say, oh, he didn't train. He would have trained differently if there was another 2 rounds or if it was longer minute rounds. But the way that fight went and how it was going to play out, if there was more time, I would have. I feel personally, I feel like I would have won because he was slowing down and I was only just getting warmed up. Like that 3rd round, I was just getting more like right, here we go. Like now I've got my second wind. So if there was another 2 rounds or say another 5-minute round, I feel like I would have finished him or I definitely would have took the fight. That's just how I feel personally. Nothing against Nick. Like I'm not trying to cause any beef or anything, but that's just how I feel personally.
Yeah, I don't normally bring up a fight where like there is a loss involved, but I still thought you put on a great performance, and I just thought it spoke volumes about that show that fight could be put on. And when that fight was announced, I was like, oh my God.
That's the thing. Like when you've got two people who like me and Nick we're both fighters, we're both competitors. You're not, and especially at amateur, you do get some guys who won't fight the best. Like they might fight, I don't know, someone who's ranked top 20, but they're not the best. Like I can't go off rankings really, because I remember going into that 8-man tournament, I was ranked 64 in the country. Like I wasn't the highest ranked at all. But the fighters know as fighters who are the top guys, and a lot of the top guys don't really fight each other. Whereas I was an amateur who would fight anyone. I would take on the hardest matchups for me. Like I fought all the best grapplers in the country. Yeah. Already, I fought them all.
And I think you did the absolute best thing in your amateur career of getting like shitloads of fights under your belt.
Oh, 100%.
And exactly like you say, it really doesn't matter at amateur.
It doesn't.
Now you're 1-0. That's it. You're 1-0.
That's it.
Like nobody's looking at that
really
now.
Care about my amateur career.
But know from the people you tested yourself against where you are. Yeah. And because you've tested yourself against the best.
That's it. Exactly. I know any of the guys I've lost to, I know I can beat. Like, sorry, excuse me. Like deep down inside, I know I can beat like anyone I've lost to. I know that wholeheartedly. I really do. So like I know when I do meet them in the future, I know I'm gonna really, really show my skills and show my levels. So
Let me go back to question. Somebody asked your preferred weight to fight in. I think we talked about that. Bantam at the moment, right?
Yeah, bantamweight, 100%.
Okay, this is an interesting one. What is your percentage of training breakdown? I guess this is usually, not at the moment, between boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai, MMA, fitness and cardio, etc.
Yeah. So when I'm back here, because my training schedule is different when I'm in America to here. When I'm here is Mondays usually I run. I run in the morning with MMA at night time, so it usually be wrestling and some jiu-jitsu. Tuesdays is strength conditioning in the morning, and pads at night time, so to work on my striking. Wednesdays the same as Monday. Thursdays the same as Tuesday. Fridays is a spar, like big gloves, just kickboxing with adding in takedowns, but not MMA. And then Saturdays is usually an MMA spar, or depending on if I go to Jake Hadley's gym up in Birmingham, Renegade or Fearless. Wednesday will be a spar in the morning, or Friday will be a spar in the morning. Then at night time will be like some drills, and then Saturdays either a run or sparring again, and then Sundays is open mat.
So do you ever do like standalone jujitsu or?
I've trained gi like for 4 weeks of my life. I've only ever done gi for like 4 weeks. I've never. I'm straight white belt in gi. Like you put me in a gi, I'm not very good. But like
no gi rolling, just or is it just mixed in with MMA?
Yeah. So on a Wednesday we usually do rolling, and on a Monday we'll do like rounds of rolling at the end, but it's mainly drills, and then say the last 40 minutes will be rolling or half hour. So.
And when you say running, is that like a long distance run or sprints, or
do you mix it depends. It's in camp it's usually a 3 mile like red line, going sort of as fast as I can for that 3 miles, because it'll average 15 to 21 minutes usually between there. So that I do, that is my runs, but out of camp is more like I like to do long distance. So it'll be like 6 miles, 8 miles sometimes, depending on how I feel. So, and I've just incorporated sprints. I'm not like, because I've never really thought of sprinting for me is like the best thing, because like the way I fight isn't like a sprinter. I'm not like a Tyron Woodley where I have bursts of like output. I'm more of a sort of person that just stays on you and just ups their work rate. I don't really go up, down, up, down, up, down. I just constantly keep a pace is how I feel like I fight. So I've never really done sprints. I'd rather do like a 3 mile run, but as hard as I can for that whole 3 miles, rather than just doing sprints.
Yeah. Okay. Can you ever see yourself moving to America to advance your career, or do you think with the rise of MMA in the UK, you still get the same opportunities at home now?
I could probably see myself moving to America. I don't know about living there like full time all year round. Maybe say spending 8 months out of the year there, and then I don't know, 4 months or whatever back here. But I could definitely see myself being over there for, like out of the year for at least 6 months or something like that. Just to, because I feel like over there for me, I get my best training, and I always feel like I come back better. So I wouldn't ever I would always stay with that gym. But for sure, like with the rise of MMA in the UK at the minute, guys don't need to leave the UK. Like especially with like, look at guys like Leon Edwards. He's doing all his training here, so you definitely don't need to leave the UK. Like I think back in the day that was like the thing, like, oh, you need to go to America. Like I feel like you don't need to. You don't need to. I personally, for myself, feel like America is the best place for me. But for some fighters like Jake Hadley, who's doing amazing, he doesn't need to leave the UK. Look at how good he's doing. He's only doing his training here. So I feel like you've just got to do what's best for you.
Yeah, some people have got families and stuff here, and it's not practical for them to leave. Or other people have told me that they do have families, so when they go and train abroad, they can just be really selfish and only focus on themselves for that time.
Yeah, that for me is what I love about like when I go to America, I'm going on my own. So for me, like, it's like I'm there to do business. I'm not there to go and have fun. Like you can make it look good. Like when I'm over there, like I can make it look like I'm having the best time of my life, sitting in front of the pool, relaxing, doing this, doing that. But in reality, my body is absolutely aching. Like I don't have the energy to do anything else. Like all my time is pretty much spent at the gym or asleep or led doing nothing or eating. So like people can think and say what they want. Like, oh, you're in America, you must be having a great time. I'm not. All I'm doing is sitting on my phone, aching, training, eating, sleeping, shitting. That is all I'm doing. So like it's not as glamorous as what you think. Like it's not. Like don't be wrong, I love everyone over there, and I do have fun, definitely. But like my fun is in the gym.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not going out partying. I'm not going out getting pissed up and doing anything like that. All I'm doing is training and spending time in the gym and away from my family, and I'm missing my loved ones and that. But for me, that mentally prepares me to like go in and I'm ready to, because I go there and all I've done is focus on myself and do what's best for me. I've not got to worry of, oh, has my mum got the rent money, or like for this month I need to work so I can get her some money or whatever. So for me, like when I'm over there, I'm just 100% focused on what I need to do.
How did you first pick the MMA lab?
So one of my coaches, Bradley Scott, who fought in the UFC, fought like Scott Askham and everything. He so when he first got in the UFC, he was looking for a camp to go to, and then he ended up going out to the MMA lab. And then when I was 17, I went and done a trip with him, and ever since then I've been going over there because I just love it. It's amazing. So.
This is a side note, but his last fight in the UFC, the one in Liverpool, I can't believe he didn't get fight of the night for that. That was an absolute war.
He got stitched up a few times with the bonuses. There was a few times he could have got it, but he never got it. So
he definitely should have got it that night.
Yeah, but it's like when he got in his debut, he got the first ever 10-finger guillotine in the UFC, and he still didn't get 50 Gs. And I was just like, you've got the worst luck. You have got the worst luck.
But one final question: Woodley versus Edwards. Your prediction?
Edwards.
How do you think he does it? It's got to be on points, hasn't it?
I think points, but I could see him maybe stopping him. I like because Woodley gasses and Leon doesn't. So I feel like Leon could maybe catch him with a sub, because Leon's got good jiu-jitsu, like he trains with like Tom Breeze and all them guys. So I could maybe see a submission, but I personally think he'll win on points.
Yeah, I could see him definitely outworking him.
I think like if you watch the Dos Anjos fight, like he showed how good his technical ability is and how good his wrestling is. And he showed how good his jiu-jitsu was. Like Dos Anjos is no bum on the ground. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. And he took him down and held him down and manhandled him at some point. So it showed. I know Dos Anjos isn't as big as Woodley, but sometimes it's actually harder to be a bigger guy and grapple a smaller person, because when they're smaller, it's definitely harder. So I think he showed there that his grappling's on the same level, if not better, as Woodley. And I think his striking's definitely better than Woodley's too. So.
Do you think this fight will happen though? Because I'm not sure that Woodley's going to accept it again. I really don't think that he will, if he's got a choice.
I'm not too sure. I think it will. I hope it will for Leon, because I think that's.
I hope it will.
Like I think that's a good scout for Leon to get to the title. But there's no way when you beat the ex-champ, there's only one place you're going next is for the title shot. So I think for Leon, that's the fight to be made for him if it's not a title shot. But yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe the Edwards versus Masvidal fight could happen. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends as well who Usman's fighting next.
That's it. Well, I think Usman's supposed to be fighting Masvidal, but I'm not sure.
He was supposed to, but it's kind of all gone really quiet, hasn't it? You would have thought Masvidal, the BMF, should be the first one to be fighting on that island.
I know, innit? I tell you what, going back to who I'd love to spar, if I was going to have a street fight with one fighter, it would be Masvidal.
Oh my God, he's awesome.
I'd love to have a scrap with Masvidal. I feel like that'd be fun.
Yeah, he is a lot of fun. He's one of the top people I've interviewed as well. He was
I can imagine. I bet he's nuts.
Yeah, he was telling me about the curry he was going to have after his weigh-in before UFC London.
Worst idea ever.
He was naming like a million dishes, and I was like, you're seriously going to eat that the night before you headline a fight? And
I messed up once. I did that. I had a curry after weigh-ins, like, so I ate all day good, and then that night I was starving, and I was in a hotel, and the only thing they had was like a sandwich or a curry. I was like, oh, I'll just have a curry. Worst idea ever. It messed my guts up so bad. So bad. I never did that ever again.
You didn't have a poo in the cage, did you?
No, I was luckily enough, my gut sorted himself out just before. So
amazing. I haven't got any more questions, so that's a bit of a strange note to end on. It's been amazing talking to you, Jack. I'd love to have you back on anytime, especially when you've got a fight announced, or it would be awesome 100%. To have you back on.
Yeah, I'd love to come back on, 100%.
Yeah, just good luck getting through isolation. I hope your injury clears up.
Yeah, thank you very much, and to you.
And hopefully see you.
All my
yeah, of course.
I just want to thank all my sponsors for all the help. Because without them, I wouldn't be able to go to America. And chase my dream and really pursue it the way I want to. My team, the lab, Dragon's Lair, Southern Academy of Sport for my strength conditioning. Without them guys, I wouldn't be able to get in the shape of how I do and everything. Dean Cut Nutrition for helping me with all my weight cut stuff, everything. Like he's a diamond. And to yourself for having me on, and just all my friends and family for supporting me, and we'll be at the top one day, so it'll be good.
Awesome. I'm so excited to see you fight again. I hope it's September. I hope it's on the next Cage Warriors Academy card. And yeah, just stay safe, stay healthy, and all the best to you and your family.
And to you.
Thanks so much, Jack.
Have a great day. Take it easy.
And you. Cheers.